we're back with Barrel or Not.
Oh man, did we have an athleticgreens.com/surf during that?
No, we didn't, but we can discuss it now if you'd like.
Well, because I was thinking coming up, I was like, ha ha ha. Had my athleticgreens.com, drinkag1.com/surf first thing this morning, thinking I got this one on my brain is going to be so sharp for this debate. And then I remembered, oh, Britt's got my secret weapon too.
Oh shoot, everybody's fueled by it. I was going to say I brought extra travel packs if you need one, since we're on the road. I don't know if you needed one or not. Okay, Barrel and Oz first one's coming from a listener. Surfboards as architecture. I'm thinking of when people take old boards and turn them into outdoor showers, benches, poolside, bar tables, etc. I personally think it's heinous, but I would like to hear what you guys think. Dr. Scholl.
That's a hard nah. I think that's cheesy, man.
Okay.
That's just cheesy. I don't want to see surfboards as furniture or bar tops.
Okay. I agree. And beyond cheesy, or maybe the reason why it's cheesy is design matters, right? And there's certain designs are appropriate for certain things. Right. Furniture, well-designed furniture
is wonderful,
is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it is a thing. Yeah. And so to repurpose something that surfboard design is beautiful and it's a specific thing, but you can't repurpose the surfboard into something that has an already design.
It's not going to work well.
No.
Now I do support surfboards as art pieces per se, or as decoration or decor. I think there's an appropriate space for that. But man, that's just silly trying to make it into a chair or a bar top.
Disrespectful. It's disrespectful to both furniture and to surfboards.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Full. We're all on the same page. Barrel or Not number 2, cursing in front of your kids.
I'm going to go barrel. I'm going to go a big barrel. I've seen this. I try to keep my curses to a minimum these days. The wife, and thankfully she doesn't listen to the podcast, but she's really just a good Pacific Northwest snowboard Hessian. And so the curses flow like water, like rain from the sky. And I've observed the young daughter, and daughter doesn't cuss. And so I'm saying that it's become so normalized, and it's not that she doesn't respect her mother, but it's, that's maybe what older people do. And daughter has a real visceral, I'll see her rapping along or whatever to whatever music, and she'll get to a cuss word and then keep going. And she's not doing it for my sake. So
she's developed her own code of ethics.
I'm going to say, if you swear big time though, you got to push it, pedal to the metal, swear around your kids. They will instinctively push against that by not swearing.
Yeah, that's a good theory. That's a good theory. Is there an age caveat to this?
No.
Oh.
But you can provide your own reasoning or what age you would.
Well, I guess I'm a nah, because I try not to use any harsh language around my 10-year-old daughter. So I guess intuitively I'm a nah, but then my 23-year-old son, we like to exchange some words on occasion for fun. So not that my words are very bad. I don't really cuss in general.
But I got my mouth washed out for saying but when I was a kid.
Yeah. I mean, we both grew up in Christian homes. Yeah. So my dad, I've almost never heard my dad cuss. I have never heard a foul word come from my mom's mouth ever. So I don't really cuss in general.
So knowing that, does that make you admire them?
Yeah.
In an extra particular way?
Yeah, it does, because I think cussing it's so common these days that when someone doesn't cuss, you kind of think oh, there's something there. They've got some internal thing that feels like, no, I'm not going to be like everyone else and do that just because it's easy. And I think that I respect language enough that there's other ways to express stuff. Although, an aptly placed cuss word is the right word.
And I'm gonna say a person who cusses well is an art form, but you have to do it well, right? I will say the wife cusses so well. If she dropped her cusses, it wouldn't be, her whole communication style would not be nearly as engaging or great. That is her poetry. But Like, I think when it comes off really bad is when you're forcing it. If you're not a cusser, it's like seeing a person who's never smoked a cigarette, you know, and they're like holding it all funny, and you just know, right? You know right away you're not a smoker, and it's cool that you're not a smoker. So stay not a smoker. If you're not a cusser, it's cool to not be a cusser. Stay not a cusser.
Right.
If you're like jamming, I was at the store and this fucking guy came, you know, like it's just, ugh.
There's an element. So I admire your parents who have the discipline and a code of ethics to not do it. But then I also admire Cersei, who's taking it to an art form. So I think you just have to be committed to whatever your cause is.
Right.
Not do it flippantly. Boys, are we getting into America Lager right now?
I guess we're doing this.
I mean, I'll follow your lead. I would never.
Well, here's the thing about Merrick Lager. Merrick Lager is a beer that's perfect for every occasion. So it fits in just right at 9:30 a.m. for a podcast.
As it would at a Grateful Dead concert.
As it would at a Grateful Dead
Cheers,
concert.
boys.
As it does at the beach.
As it would in the pit.
Boys, let me say this. Merrick Lager, taste your adventure.
Taste your adventure. Oh, that's nice.
Tastes like a sunny, warm adventure to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It's better than Modelo. That's what you can also have.
It is better than Modelo.
Yeah.
What you'll notice about it is it's really bright on the front end, right? It's bright and bubbly on the front end. It's got a bit of body in the middle, and it's gone on the back end.
That is
And
really
when
true.
I was working
Clean
with
finish.
when I was working with the brewmaster to develop the beer, part of my thing was it's got to be like it never happened a second later. You can't have this
amazing.
lingering thing in your mouth.
I would have never, ever, ever thought that about beer, but you're exactly right.
Like it never happened.
Man,
Like a
mind
Grateful Dead
rustling
show.
Would you mind rustling up some fish tacos, Devin, to go with that? Okay. Where can they get Merrick Lager, by the way?
Well, Albertson's here in Carpinteria, California, but Rincon Brewery in Santa Barbara, Carpinteria and Ventura. Other vendors, it's on tap lots of places locally. We're just starting to branch out. But if you go to rinconbrewery.com, you can order it online there.
You can?
Or you can connect. Yeah, you can also connect through our website. Or you could find Merrick Lager on Instagram and get the information there.
Perfect.
live in the future.
Final barrel or nah, shaping your own surfboard.
Barrel.
No. No barrel.
Everybody who's serious about surfing should at some point get in a shaping room and experience the craft and the beauty of it and the difficulty of it. I think that if you're real serious about surfing, there's nothing more serious than your surfboard. And the more that you can be involved in the process that a surfboard is, I think the more you'll appreciate it as an art, as a craft, as a tool. And then I think you'll just have a better appreciation of surfing.
Absolutely not. That's what you pay Brit Merrick to do, is to understand that surfboard. I don't know thing one about so much. I know good music. I know...
Debatable.
I know... Maybe that's all I know. But I know that I don't know anything about surfboards other than... Did you know... Want to know something, Brit Merrick? I really did not know what rocker was up until... It was like last year, I think, where I was like, I knew that it sounded like something curvy, but I didn't really exactly know until, oh yeah, it is actually that. Like I didn't stop. And that kind
That's
of
crazy to me.
That kind of lack of care, lack of understanding, lack of like 3 brain cells to rub together. You don't want me in a shaping room. I would be just messing up. There was cut and paste back in school. I remember my first memory as a student, like kindergarten, was hating cut and paste. Couldn't get the line straight, hated pasting. Like, I'm not a crafty man.
I thought you were talking about a computer function.
Oh, see, exactly.
Cut and paste.
I love cut and paste in that way.
You may not be a crafty man, but you are a man who understands style and aesthetic. And so I think that there would be a way for that to come out for you in the shaping room.
You think I could come up and do something that would have any kind... My wife does not let me touch anything at home. She does not let me touch anything at home. If something's broken, I'll go run out to the garage and get my tools, which are in a dusty pile, and she'll say, nope, no, back away.
What?
Yeah, maybe not.
Which team riders have expressed the most interest or even shaped their own surfboards? Dane, obviously.
Yeah. Dane is in there big time. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Mikey February.
Has he shaped a board?
Yeah. Mikey February has shaped a bit. Mikey February and I shaped a board last year together, hand shape. He definitely fools around with it a bit. Dane has put the most time into it.
Have you ridden any of Dane's boards?
No.
Okay.
No, different volume there.
Well, I didn't know. Maybe he shaped one for you. I didn't mean the ones that he would ride for himself.
I don't think he would shape one for me.
Why not?
He's a jerk.
No, he's not a jerk. He's a very sweet guy. He's got better things to do than shape a shaper or surfboard.
Okay. All right.
Oh, this is going to be Beach Grit's version of Stab in the Dark. Is we're going to have the team rider, number one team rider, shape a board for their shaper. Have John shape one for John. Have, who would you want? You don't get to choose. I will choose. Who's going to shape one for Britt?
Bobby.
Ooh, that's a good one. Bobby shape, good call. Bobby shapes for Britt. It doesn't matter if they've ever touched a room, preferably not, right?
Right.
Who would shape for old Matt Biolis?
Griff.
You think so?
I don't know. I was just thinking of number one team rider.
I'm going Cole Hausmond.
I'm going Sawyer Lindblad.
Ooh, nice one. Nice one. Good. Like it. Sawyer.
On a closing, I had a couple of classic barrel or Nas that I want to get your opinion on. You can make them quick if you want.
Do they have to be quick?
No, they don't. I was just, if you want.
You're feeling rather verbose. This Merrick Lager is really just...
It's kicking in. You're choosing your own adventure? I said keep it short. You said I'm going long. Kissing your kid on the mouth.
Again, same as the cussing question. Is there an age parameter here?
You can define your own age parameter. If you think it's okay up to a certain age, identify the age.
My daughter is 10 years old, Fifi. And man, kissing her on the mouth is like my favorite thing in the world. We kiss like 100 times a day.
Wow.
Easily. Certainly there's going to come an age where that's probably not quite as natural. But man, I think that if you don't kiss your kids on the mouth, you're depriving them of something that God has created that is a bond of security and joy and peace and connection between parent and child that I think is God ordained. If you're not kissing your kid, you're kind of blowing it. I mean, you're fully blowing it.
Oh, wow. David Lee. I yell at my child to go stretch. Is that close? I'd say... I've never once kissed my daughter on the mouth.
I'm pro kissing on the mouth too, but this became a very divisive discussion amongst the listenership.
Yeah.
Chaz, you've never kissed your kid on the mouth?
Never once. No,
Bro, that's broken.
I'm not I hate to say it, Britt, but I'm not a pervert.
That's broken. That is the least perverted thing in the world, kissing your child on the mouth.
See, here's the thing though.
Do you hug them?
Yeah. Oh, not really.
Do you love your kids?
I do. I love both of my daughters immensely. I think that kind of physical thing is not with a kid, is not my natural thing. And so then it's like the guy smoking the cigarette or the person who shouldn't be cussing. It becomes an awkward, like halting. Like when I try to hug my daughter, she's 11. When I hug her, it's like, it's weird, right?
Chaz, tell me about your relationship with your mom.
Yeah, it's probably strained. I think.
I would guess. You know what might be good for you?
To unstrain my relationship?
Grateful Dead show, Psychedelics. I think it'll open up a lot of stuff.
Okay, here's a question I have about this. Doesn't it flatten everyone's experience? That's what, like, once you like, okay, so this like music that's rambling, this psychedelic, or and we'll differentiate between mushrooms and LSD and whatnot, but or for the sake of this argument, let's not. But isn't everybody like on kind of a same mental level then? Where does individuality go?
Well, I don't know that I would agree with your assessment. First of all, music that's rambling is a bit diminutive. I don't think that's the correct sort of. And I think if you were to experience it, if you had any idea what you were talking about, you would know that there's actually an incredible amount of dynamic in the music, and there's a journey that you go on.
But isn't that like a chemically induced journey where now all of a sudden artificially people are having this feeling with this thing that otherwise what? And I don't mean to place, I was reading just yesterday about, was somebody writing about how they thought, what was it? That, I can't remember, maybe that ballet could never be an American art form because Americans are too focused on individualism and they won't grind into the greater good of the core. And so that made me think a lot. And I think I in my life do like have individual expression as like a real pinnacle thing.
Very American.
Yeah, that's probably something I should look at and hug my kid.
It's called radical Western individualism.
Yes.
And it's not the way that humanity always was.
Yes.
Humanity used to be much more collective, much more communal. The way that humanity, I think, originally was it's the family, it's the community first and me second, right? Radical Western individualism is it's me first and everybody else second at any cost. And so I think that any opportunities that we have to overcome that is really healthy for us as people, especially as Westerners. So I think that family provides that opportunity, marriage provides that opportunity, good friendships, church relationships, or other groups like that, the Grateful Dead and those experiences, any concert really, you go there and there's this collective energy. Right. And so I think that collective energy is really powerful. And I think any opportunity where we have to sort of diminish self and exalt the communal experience is sort of cathartic and healing for us as people.
Boom.
All right. Another barrel or not I wanted you to chime in on. Eating your pizza crust.
This is a good one.
Very divisive as well.
Yeah.
I'm a very hard no on that.
Whoa.
Yes.
I'm a very hard no.
Whoa.
Brit.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming, but I gotta say, I'm real happy.
Dude, it's a total waste.
That's gross.
First of all, we should limit our bread intake, and pizza crust is the worst, unless it's the stuff my wife makes from her own sourdough. But it's just a waste. Like I'd rather like spare myself those calories in that stomach space and go back into the meat of the pizza where the good stuff is.
Speaking my love language, Brit Merrick.
You are both eating the wrong pizza, is my argument to you. And if you're eating the wrong pizza, I agree with you. Save the space. Don't even eat the pizza. But if you're eating the right pizza, the bread is the most essential part, and it's actually the best part.
I think
The best part.
The best part. Napoleon, like Napoli style.
I hear what you're saying.
Wood-fired oven. Like the bread is what they take, what your wife takes so much time to perfect.
Right.
And it's the vehicle for the other things, but that is the main thing.
I like to travel to Italy. I have done this and eat the pizza and leave the crust and take pictures of the crust and send them to David Lee Scales.
Yes, exactly. Just a plate of bones of pizza crust. And I'm just like, ship it over here. I'll eat it.
I'm going to start doing that too. So there's two caveats into this one, right? Most people are eating normal pizza, so I'd say eating the crust is a no. But if you're eating excellent pizza, proper pizza, then maybe.
Don't waste your time with
The
that.
other thing is, though, if you have ranch.
That was another barrel or not. Ranch on pizza.
Oh, that's the biggest barrel ever.
Biggest barrel ever.
Biggest barrel ever. I do not want to eat pizza without ranch.
I'm here for this conversation.
So again, you're eating the wrong pizza. If it needs ranch, it's the wrong pizza.
I'll dump the best pizza on earth in ranch. Ranch makes almost everything better.
Yeah.
Ranch makes 100% of pizza better.
Yeah.
Fact. Cream in coffee. Barrel or not.
You know what's interesting? I've been a black coffee guy for the last 20, 30 years, and I only at the pipe contest this year started having cream in my coffee.
Milk
I don't
cream?
know why it was at Pipeline.
Because it was a stinking Bonsoy brew break.
That's what it was.
The official milk of the WSL. I'm like, you need an official milk? Or the official power pack charger yesterday with Mophie. I was like,
man, but that one actually makes perfect sense. Like
you need power out there.
just so badly. And I mean, my phone doesn't work. The charger broke forever ago. But I have one of it's not a Mophie, but it's like one of that slaps on the back. And I've milked this phone for an extra 2 years and counting on a back power thing.
The WSL, I will say, for as much flack as we give them, put on an amazing event. One of the kind of highlights, I mean, not the highlight of the event, but one thing that I appreciated was they did a cutaway commercial. It was a Yeti sponsored commercial where they profiled the guy who sets up. His name Jason. He makes the
guy with the tattoos.
I watched that thing.
That was so good.
I was like, how is this guy not the
McInnes.
WSL CEO?
Jason McInnes.
Making
I
his
was
knives.
like, I saw that and I go, I feel bad for everything I've ever said about the production.
Me too.
Now I love the WSL. If this guy's the representative, this guy is salt of the earth. I want to know more, and I'm going to zip my lip about the WSL.
I like legit all the fun we've made. They should have sent Jason down to my house.
I know.
Just knocked on the door and said, "Hey, you do you. You know?
Yeah.
You do you." I would have never said one cross word about the WSL again. It would have been
Jason
the wall
is
of positive noise.
The coolest guy. I look forward to seeing him at every event. He is way more huge than he looks in that piece.
And he looks huge in that piece.
Huge.
How is the WSL not rolling out? I mean, this effing WSL. Like, that's the problem. They have great assets and they have no idea that they have great assets. Like, it took Yeti. To make
Yeti does a
that
great
thing.
job with that stuff.
I mean, Yeti's a great except
storyteller.
Except
That
for
was
not
probably,
giving
I
WSL
bet you
enough.
anything, it was Keith Malloy that came up with that.
It looked
Jason
super
looks like
Malloyish.
a Malloy.
It was fully Malloyish.
Like if the Malloys
that was a
did
very Malloy
lifted
spot.
some weights.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy a knife from him.
Oh, I'm going to hit him up. I'm going to see him in El Salvador. I'm 100% going to ask him if he makes hunting knives because I hunt.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to get one from him.
Yeah.
That was such a good piece.
Great idea.
yeah,
Agreed.
such a great piece.
Humanized the WSL that
Yeah.
we had previously just treated like a nameless, faceless corporation.
I mean, it had a name and a face, and that name was Eric Logan, and that face was his.
Yeah. Final thought or question for Brit Merrick. How did you get so fit?
Who is this? Was this from a listener? No.
No, I'm just saying you've radically, I mean, you were never not fit, but I feel like you have made huge investments in your fitness and your surfing. You look leaner and stronger
well,
than when I
thank you.
first met you.
Wow. Thanks, buddy.
Is that accurate or not?
Is it accurate?
Yeah, is my assessment accurate?
Well, I'm not going to argue with it.
Did you make investments in a...
Well,
Do you spend
AG1.com,
$90 a month? That's what I was gonna ask.
AG1.com/surf has been a huge part of that, which I learned about AG from you guys and have been incorporating that. But also, man, it's my wife. My wife is so into healthy eating. So we only eat meat that I've hunted, right? I bow hunt. And so we eat deer and elk that I've hunted with my bow. My wife has a garden. She grows vegetables. Anything that we can't grow or hunt, she buys locally. It's all free range, organic, all of that stuff. We don't have any processed food in our house. Everything is fresh and made that way and super healthy. So she's on this like serious mission to have us be healthy because we had a child late in life, right? I have a 23-year-old son. I had a daughter after him that we lost to cancer a few years ago. And then we had another daughter, Fifi, who's now 10 years old, and I'm 52. So by the time she's 20, I'll be 62. I want to have a lot of fun with her. I want to go on surf trips. I want to be climbing mountains with her. I want to be doing all sorts of cool stuff. So my wife and I are on this journey for I guess, longevity and health. And then also what I do as a surfboard shaper, I have to be able to surf and I want to surf as well as I can. And I don't want to easily age out of that. And so I also want to have a relatability between the designs that I ride and I make for my surfers. So I try to stay shortboard ready. So all that kind of requires that I'm healthy. So I try.
Well, you talked about food. Is there any exercise regime? Are you doing anything else? Weightlifting, cardio?
My wife and I walk a lot.
Okay.
I run a little bit in preparation for hunting season because when I'm hunting, it's pretty hard. We'll do like 15 miles a day in the mountains bow hunting. So I'll do a little bit of training for that. Other than that, I just try to surf and stay active and move. And shaping's cool because you're on your feet all day. You're moving all day long. That helps.
Yeah.
Do you walk with your wife, David Lee Scales?
Not with my wife. I do with the dog and the kid.
Tell you, it's one of the funny little pleasures of getting older, I think, is taking like I do it with the wife, like, hey, let's go on a walk. Like where I never would have thought about when you get older and then, we'll just go on walks, like long walks.
It's nice. It's a nice time to connect.
Totally.
It's easy. It's low impact. My wife and I walked 4 miles together every single day this week so far.
How long does that take?
It takes like a little more than an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah,
That's what you can do when you own the company.
That's right.
we're at a phase where it's like we're trying to create moments for one another without the kid. So it's like I'll take him to coffee so she can get 30 minutes by herself to do whatever, and then I'll take him for a walk for the same reason in the evening. But we connect in other ways. It's fine.
Do you still carry Austin?
No.
Really?
Well, I mean, he'll ask me to carry him in moments, but he's so heavy. It's like,
no, I'll tell you, that's when I would walk young daughter, especially like long days, Disneyland. She used to have a heck of a time falling asleep. So I'd have to walk her like multiple laps around the block at night, holding her. And she got older and I'd still do it. And then I realized, that's where dad's strength comes from.
True. That's a great cross training.
Like you are slowly becoming the strongest man in the world just by carrying. Because when that kid falls asleep too, that like sack of cement weight when they're out is like, and then you got to trudge.
Plus, for Chaz, it's the only physical contact he has with his child.
It is entirely true.
Very valuable for him.
It is totally true.
Otherwise, there'd be no touch between he and his offspring.
It is
skin on skin
entirely
contact.
true. That's the one time. Yeah, she got sick and we were out on what's Santa Cruz Island, and during the the Santa flu that hit so bad. We're on a boat with 8 kids, or maybe 9 kids, and one of them puked the day we got on the boat, but it was the youngest one. We thought, maybe it's whatever. Sailed out there, daughter. We went on a like hike that buddy thought he GPS'd at like 4 miles round trip, and I think it was like 9 miles each way.
Oh gosh.
And with, kids ranging in age from 2 to, I think my daughter's the oldest at 11, make it out the 9 miles or whatever it was. And daughter puked when we got out there and was just like, and so I had to hike her back, like 9 miles on the back. Wow. But yeah, it's great. Physical connection.
There you go. It feels good, right?
That lasted me until now. Yes. I'm going to go home and make her sick again and then hike her around.
In regard to your fitness, has your surfing improved?
I don't know. Surfing just gets harder and harder as you get older. It's so crazy. Gosh, I remember Sean Thompson telling me a few years ago, I was working on a board for him and he was explaining to me, I was about to do a South African accent, but I'll spare it. But a very posh South African accent.
Of course.
He was explaining to me how when you get older, you lose the pop-up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I wasn't quite buying it yet, but man, you lose that pop-up. And now, like, if I don't surf for a couple of weeks and I go surf, I'm like crawling to my feet. I'm like, oh no.
You want to know what saves your pop-up?
Tell me, please.
Stinking Devin Howard's mid-length.
Oh, gosh.
Like, there's enough, like, stuff there where that's when I realized, like, oh man, I'm going over the handlebars on my shorty. But then I get on, and I know I need to not do that and get on Devin Howard's stinking mid-length.
Good call. Everybody out there, if you're losing your pop-up, get a mid-length by Devin Howard and Challenge Surfboards.
I mean, it really does. It's like so weird. Is it just because it's stable in the water and you're just old bones need stability?
Yeah,
it's just as simple as that.
For sure.
I would like to state, what's that? Oh, Big Happy.
Because
big push for the Big Happy. Marketing in the corner chimed in.
I got to do my job.
Look at that also, though, coming full all the way back to the very point this conversation started with the Big Happy Grateful Dead logo.
That's true.
There we go.
And that is Big Happy is a big boy shortboard.
Yeah, it's a big guy shortboard, but that encompasses like people who are just getting older, or maybe their body shape has changed a bit. They're not where they once were surfing, or they're not quite where they want to be. And so it's like a cheater high performance shortboard. So it hides volume in all the right places. Excuse me. So you could still have the feeling of a performance shortboard, but not all the liabilities and difficulties of it. But it looks and feels like a sexy shortboard.
Pete Mel's clip is pretty epic.
Pete Mel's clip is epic.
Pete was ripping.
Pete rips still, yeah. Speaking of ripping into old age, the one thing that I will say on air officially, I cannot co-sign calling it the pop-up.
What do you call it?
I don't know, but referring to it as the pop-up feels so cheesy to me, or it felt kooky from the earliest memories of surfing. Like, you didn't use the term pop-up unless you were a kook. And I know that you just said Sean Thompson uses it, and I know that you're using it, and so you guys are legit. However, feels kooky to me.